Today, I want to talk about the critical relationship between home churches and their missionaries, especially those who serve abroad. And I want to give you 4 reasons why you need to holistically support your missionaries and not just throw money at them and call it a day. So let's get started. Hey, my name is Steve and welcome to my channel. And so I hope you caught it in my opener, the operative word holistically, because supporting missionaries is so much more than giving the almighty dollar. And for the sake of clarity, I'm not talking about just any church supporting any missionary. I'm talking about home churches today. Home churches supporting the missionaries coming out of their church to the mission field. So as a missionary and a missions leader, I want to help you improve the way in which you support your missionaries by giving you 4 critical elements that you can include in your support that I believe missionaries need, starting now. It's critical for home churches to publicly endorse their missionaries. And I get it, some missionaries, you've got to be careful. Maybe they serve in the Middle East, North Africa, or where we served when we lived abroad. But that's a completely different issue than what I'm talking about. And so what I mean is, we need to let other people know that as a home church, we support the missionary we're sending out. The reality is most home churches cannot provide 100% of the financial support a missionary needs. And so every missionary needs to develop a coalition of financial partners so they can serve on the mission field. And that requires that they go to people outside their home church. And so to be able to effectively go outside their home church, having the endorsement of their home church goes a long way, because when other churches and Christians in other churches see that the missionary's home church is 100% solidly behind them, it's a lot easier for them to partner with them. Nearly every mission organization out there provides some level of accountability to their missionaries. But the most critical accountability relationship available to a missionary is from their home church. So never outsource your accountability responsibility to a mission organization, or anyone for that matter. And the accountability I'm talking about is not just for ministry. If your accountability only goes so far as to hold them accountable for their ministry, let's face it, you're treating them like a business, and this is not what this relationship is about. You need to be holding them accountable for ministry and in their personal life. And so we need just as much accountability in our lives as your staff and your members do at home. I heard it said to me once that the majority of the Christians in this world stay in their community and go to their home church, and so they have regular fellowship. And as a result of that regular fellowship with people they know, they have regular encouragement from their home church. Now, for us missionaries who move abroad, of course we've got some encouragement when we get there, but the problem is we have to build it, and building it takes time. And the other problem with that is our fellowship and encouragement with people we know well isn't consistent, because in most mission fields, consistency long-term rarely exists. So for example, missionaries come and go. The day of the long-term 30-year missionary that they just plant themselves into one place is a rarity now. And so a lot of mission fields have people that come and go constantly, really a rotating door. And so in a lot of ways, it's hard to build those long-term consistent relationships where you can find long-term encouragement from. And so this is why consistent encouragement from your home church is critical, because no matter how long the missionary stays on the field, eventually they come back to their home church. The final critical element is keep a relationship with your missionaries. I know this sounds odd because most of us would assume that we're keeping a good relationship with them because we support them financially, because we pray for them. But if we're not doing these other things that I just mentioned and being intentional with engaging them as people, then we're really not developing a relationship, or at least continuing the relationship that we had with them before they went to the field. There is truth to out of sight and out of mind. Now, us missionaries need to work on it just as much as you do. But as the home church, I want to encourage you, be intentional. Let them know you care. Relate with them. Go visit them. Don't let the issue of money prevent you from going to them, seeing how they live, learning about their life, understanding their struggles. I mean, get to know them fully. And the key reason why I say this is because when they're done with their service, when the time comes that God calls them to come back home to their home church, if you didn't intentionally keep the relationship with them, they're going to have a hard time relating with you when they return home. And guess what? We as missionaries, we need you when we return home. There is something called reentry stress. And if you don't know anything about it, I encourage you to look it up because it's a real thing that missionaries battle when we come home. Now I get it. Most pastors, most churches, and most Christians in their home community have no idea what it's like to live abroad, especially as a missionary. And so you're not going to be able to fully relate to them. But if you don't understand what they're going through, when they go through it, and how they dealt with the problems they faced on the field, how are you going to help them re-enter into your home country and resettle? So it's critical that you relate with them while they're serving and keep that relationship going strong. So remember these 4 critical elements. Endorse your missionary. Carefully, of course. Hold them accountable. Intentionally and consistently encourage them. And do everything you can to relate to every aspect of their life. I am very thankful for the home church I have. They have done so much to pour into my family, and it has been invaluable. Well, I hope this video was helpful and it gave you a few more tips in your arsenal so you can better relate and care for your missionaries. And don't forget to let us know what you think about the content of this video, what content you'd like to learn about in the future, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel because it really does help us. See you next time.